Hello, I'm EnterElysium, this is IRL News. Today in IRL News, Assassin's Creed Unity is coming to PS4 and Xbox One at the same resolution and frame rate to avoid debate and stuff. And Shadow of Mordor, the brand deal I talked about last week, that basically all YouTubers are kind of being forced into and to be able to cover it, is a bit dodgy. Yeah. So, Assassin's Creed Unity, it's coming to PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Apparently coming to PC at the same time as the consoles. I very much doubt that because Ubisoft tend to say it's coming out, you know, whoa, PC is serious, and then never do it. So I doubt that, but, you know, it could be a thing. But it's basically going to be running at the same resolution, the same frame rate on both Xbox One and PS4, which is particularly odd because pretty much every game that has since come out on those two systems has been a higher resolution or a higher frame rate or both on the PS4. That's partly because PS4 has slightly better hardware, and a lot more because PS4 has a lot less bloated operating system. Xbox One's operating system consumed a lot more system resources because, well, it was going to be the ultimate media device, and, well, it got half there. But its operating system still has the ultimate media device stuff all running in the background and thus eats up a lot more of your stuff, whereas PS4 is a games console, or kind of uses less in its OS than the Xbox One does. So Ubisoft decided in their infinite wisdom to lock both at the same resolution and frame rate to avoid debate and stuff. Not exactly sure what's going on there. Like, I know some people are going to scream, oh, Microsoft paid them to hobble the PS4 version. No, big businesses like this never do money for the favours that they do. Yes, they do occasionally do favours for each other, but they won't be in the form of money. And I don't think this was like an actual big business going, oh, we will do this to make sure that, you know... I don't think it was Ubisoft and Microsoft, you know, sort of getting together and conspiring to lock the PS4 version, and that Microsoft will, you know, love Ubisoft unconditionally for it or something. I don't think it was. There's a possibility that, you know, they've talked, but I very much doubt that. I just think there was something else going on, because it's not to avoid debate and stuff, because to be honest, we've got used to console versions running at different resolutions and different frame rates between the Xbox One and the PS4. I mean, it's a fact. Every time a new console game comes out, we go, okay, what resolution is it running at on the PS4? What resolution is it running at on the Xbox One? We know to ask these questions now, because we are pretty jaded when it comes to consoles and the different resolutions and frame rates. It wouldn't really be debate and stuff, other than the fact that console like fanboys who like really push their system or really push the other system, they're going to debate anyway. And by deliberately hobbling the PS4 version, we assume it's the PS4 version, I don't think they have said, but we pretty much know it, they are going to drive more debate than anything before, because effectively they are lessening a PS4 experience for the sake of less debate and stuff. I have no idea why they did it. Less debate and stuff is possibly the wankiest term you could use. Not sure exactly what's going on there. There has to be more to it than that, because that is just the most stupid idea ever. That said, Ubisoft. So yeah. Okay, before we get onto the Mordor topic, I actually want to kind of bring this up. Split /2. It's a fun racing game, and it came to Steam recently. It was out on consoles many, many years ago, but finally came to Steam. However, on Steam it has Secure ROM DRM, which died out years ago for a reason, and it's locked at 30 FPS apparently. So yeah, don't buy it. So yeah, let's get on to Shadow of Mordor. Now the Shadow of Mordor brand deal is something that's been pushed on all YouTubers to cover Shadow of Mordor, that they really couldn't cover it without doing that because they would get copyright content ID claimed and stuff. And basically the most despicable sort of use of controlling PR. And I said at the time, you know, it's horrible, but, you know, it's a standard brand deal as far as I understand it. Now, Jim Sterling has clarified in one of his Jimquisition episodes exactly what's in the brand deal. It's one of the brand deals he got hold of the contract for. And it makes me kind of sick. So, what they're saying in the brand deal is there are a number of things. Now, firstly, there was, you need to have at least one call to action to buy the game. You cannot show any bugs or whatever, and you have to have this, that, and the other. Basically, it was not just, you know, a brand deal to cover it, which is the standard brand deal format, and, you know, the one that I've been involved with, I can't tell you about the contract because business details. But it wasn't this. This is weird. And there was this one bit in particular that got me, right? Okay, so your videos have to be pre-approved by their PR guys, right? You have to give them at least 40 hours notice for them to check it over, etc. And they can tell you to make changes, okay? They can tell you to make changes to the video. And in the description you must have a link to their website and, you know, to buy it and stuff, and you must say this, that and the other, it's blah 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 blah. Basically, buy the game type stuff. And that has to be above the disclosure that it's a paid brand deal. Okay, so let's leave out in-video disclosure for a second. The FTC, the people who do, like the federal body who basically say what you can and can't do with adverts, the FTC have said the brand deal disclosure, all that sort of stuff, has to be unavoidable. Okay, unavoidable is the term. Unavoidable. You cannot avoid it. However, Mordor's brand deal says you have to put the disclosure below the links to the website, etc. So basically it goes into the show more bit on a description on YouTube, where you have to click show more. Now, let's hands up. Who often clicks show more? Not many of you. Not many of you. And you're probably more savvy than most YouTube users. So effectively what they're saying is, you must hide the disclosure. That's what they're saying. They're saying it has to be below this, and thus it will be in the show more, and thus you must hide it. It's kind of a backwards way. It's not like you must hide it, it should be below this, which of course happens to hide it, which is just a... Okay, leaving out in-video disclosure for a start, that would be against the guidelines laid down by the FTC, because it's not unavoidable. If it is in below the description, below into the show more, that's not unavoidable, okay? Unavoidable means you cannot avoid it, right? Obvious. So it breaches the FTC guidelines, and breaching the FTC guidelines I think is illegal or something. I think, you know, they're guidelines, but they are basically statute or something. I'm not sure. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not, especially not an American lawyer. So I'm not exactly sure how that works. But I know that if you breach the FTC guidelines, then the FTC can basically come over and screw you and, you know, sue you and stuff. So what they're effectively trying to do is kind of weirdly illegal, barring in-video disclosure. Now, in-video disclosure is actually a lot better and actually is unavoidable. In-video disclosure is about as unavoidable as you can get, because even a description doesn't carry over if you link the video somewhere else. If you embed a video in a web page, it doesn't keep the description. So in-video disclosure is something I would prefer for brand deals. However, I haven't seen a single Mordor brand deal video actually having in-video disclosure. Legit, I haven't seen a single Mordor brand deal having in-video disclosure. Now, maybe it's because none of the YouTubers decided to do it, and all the YouTubers went along with this hide it in the description thing, which, you know, is against the FTC guidelines. Or maybe it's because Played are actually, you know, because when they're vetting the videos with their 48-hour window, maybe they're saying, no, don't do that, just put it in the description. Maybe that's it. But it's definitely a very, very shitty tactic saying that your FTC guideline description stuff, blah blah blah, your disclosure has to be low down in the description. That is an appalling tactic. And, you know, skirting the edge of the illegal area. And honestly, Mordor is a good game. It ends with a very short QTE boss fight, which sucks, but it's a good game. It really is. It is a legit good game, and it doesn't need this. And they've got incredibly controlling PR, doing very shady business practices with skirting the edge of the FTC guidelines, possibly in, possibly out. It's such a... It's unnecessary for a start, but even if it wasn't unnecessary, it is a horrible, despicable practice. Really atrocious. And it's not good for consumers, because if this was a game that, you know, was really bad, again, they're controlling the PR front so much without, you know, doing the horrible stuff like, oh, don't disclose it. Say only good stuff. What they're saying is, you know, we want to be able to vet your video, we don't want you to disclose bugs, etc. And you must basically hide the disclosure. That is a shit tactic. That is a scummy tactic, that is shady, and that is pretty despicable. And actually makes me kind of not want to play Shadow of Mordor, despite the fact I finished it already, so... Can I go back in time and sort that one? Anyway, I'm EnterElysium. This has been IRL News. If you've liked it, please remember to like the video. And if you're not subscribed, please do consider subscribing. Because, you know, helps and things. Stay shiny.